Namaste children, welcome back to third class of our block 17 friction. So in our first class of our friction, we came to know exactly what a friction is. Friction, it is a force which is always acting between the two surfaces when these two surfaces they are rubbed against with each other. Okay, like when you are rubbing your hands, there a friction arises. When you are walking, in between your shoe and the road surface, friction is arising. Like that, whenever two surfaces they are rubbed against each other, then a frictional force is arising. That means friction, it is a type of force. So in our next second class, we learned that which type of surfaces, means the nature of the surfaces we learned, whether it is a smooth surface or it is a rough surface. How the smooth surface it is exerting friction, how the rough surface is exerting friction. That means we learnt in small words about more or less friction based on the nature of the surface of objects. In our today's class, we are going to mainly focus on harmful and usefulness of friction. That means the friction which is acting, it is having some advantages in our day-to-day life. It is even having some disadvantages in life. Okay, so we are going to learn about the different advantages of friction in our day-to-day life and even the disadvantages of friction. Let us quickly start our class. The main aim of our today's class is to summarize how frictional force is useful and harmful to us. In our today's class, the main keywords we are going to learn, the first one is grooves. The first keyword we are going to learn, that is grooves. So grooves are nothing but the long, deep, narrow cuts on the surface of hard materials. For suppose if this is the hard material like stone is present, the deep narrow cuts, these deep narrow cuts, we are calling it as a grooves.
Grooves. Long, deep, and narrow cuts on the surface of a hard material.
The next keyword today we are going to learn, that is skidding. Skidding is nothing but turning the vehicle in a sideways on a slippery road. So when you are skidding your vehicle, it will if the surface is slippery, that vehicle it will skid easily.
Skidding. A vehicle turning sideways on a slippery ground because of stopping suddenly or turning quickly.
To understand betterly about today's class, let us do a small activity, children, where in our activity, at first we will take a shoes with these many grooves, and we even observe the pictures of a new tire and a old tire. Observe these pictures carefully. One picture, that is a shoe, yes, and the second picture is a new tire and a old tire. Observe these pictures carefully, children, and we are going to even observe the second one, that is a matchbox with matchsticks. So now just generally rub this matchbox with matchstick. What happens? You will get that fire is coming out. Correct? In the same manner, if a new car tires are there will be a lot of friction and you can easily move the car easily. But the same car tire, when you keep on using, you will find that the grooves are slowly weared out. So when they are weared out like this place, friction will be less and it's difficult to hold a good grip over the surface road. So to understand the activity betterly, let us watch a video, children.
So let's start. We learned that friction is a force that resists motion whenever two surfaces are in contact. When the friction is less, the objects slip past each other easily. And when the surfaces are rough, the objects does not move against each other easily. Example, you need friction between your shoes and ice to walk on it. You need friction.
So here children, you are able to notice that
Between your hands and
yes, a lady, she is opening the cup. So when she is opening a cup, the friction between her hand and the cup, it should be too high so that she can open it easily.
Lid of the jar to open it. You need grip between your hands and handle of the bicycle to hold it firmly. You need friction between your shoes and paddles of the bicycle to paddle it. And you need no friction between you and the slide to enjoy the ride. You need no friction between the striker and the board to play. You need no friction between the ball and the surface for bowling. Now let's learn advantages of friction. Friction is very important while driving a car. Without it,
so here you can find that, observe it very clearly. These are the new tires. So these new tires, when you are using while riding a bicycle, you will find a friction between the tire and the road surface. So due to which a continuous rubbing of this tire will occur, so that the new tire, it will wear out. So slowly when it is wearing out, the deep grooves that are present on it, it are completely gone. When those grooves are gone, it leads to a smooth surface, and that such a old tire with a smooth surface will produce less friction. Okay children?
a car would slid off the road. On a dry road, there is a lot of friction between the car tires and the rough road surface. And in winters, there is snow or ice on the road. That makes the surface of the road very smooth, and there is little friction between the tires and the road, because of which the tires may slip off the road. This is why we need winter tires. Winter tires have special grooves to increase the friction in snowy and icy conditions. Friction also produces heat. When we rub our hands, it produces heat, which warms our hands. Friction between our shoes and road helps us to walk. Without friction, we will slip or fall. Friction helps to prevent the tires from slipping on the road because wheels need friction to have grip on the road and move forward. This is the reason the tires have grooves to produce sufficient friction. Now, let's learn disadvantages of friction. Friction makes it difficult to slide heavy objects on the floor. Every machine has several parts that move together or rub against each other, because of which a lot of heat is produced in the machine and damages the machine. Friction causes damage to the tires of vehicles. It also damages soles of the shoes and many other.
So here you can see children, the new shoe sole, it is good. But when you keep on using, due to the friction between the shoe surface and the road, entire sole it is gone. When the sole is gone, it completely becomes as a smooth surface. So smooth surface means less friction. So if there is less friction, we will skid.
Things. So friction causes wear and tear. Now let's learn how we can reduce.
Okay children, after watching this video, now let us learn about few things, that is, why are the soles of your shoe different from those of the new ones? Yes, Why the old tire different from the new tire? So at first, what you will observe in this new tire or a new shoe? We'll observe lot many grooves on them. So when your sole of your shoe is different, how it is different means as you will keep on using the new things, those grooves, it will completely wear out. So when those are worn out, that time it leads a rough surface into a smooth surface. So as it is smooth surface, your old shoes are different from the new ones. Even the same with the new tires. Okay, children. Now the next one, if you will observe carefully, what are the advantages of friction? First, let us learn about the advantages of friction. So the first and foremost advantage of friction, that is we can walk. We can hold things. Yes or no? When you are walking, you can see a rubbing between your shoe and a road surface. So you can walk easily without falling or without skidding. And you even can hold the things with your fingers or with your hands tightly or firmly due to the friction. Of course, yeah, we even can write with a pen or a paper, with a pen or a pencil on a paper, because now the pencil lead and the paper surface are having friction. Yes. Now when it comes to the disadvantages of friction, so when you keep on using the same shoe, slowly due to friction it will wear out. Means due to friction our shoes, tires, all they will wear out very quickly. And even in the industries, higher machines which are always working, where the machinery parts are rubbed against each other, they will also get damaged. That is your disadvantages of friction. Yes. So what would we not able to do it if there was no friction? If there is no friction, we cannot do? If there is no friction, simple concept, we cannot walk, we cannot hold things, we cannot pick up anything. Yes, all these things that will happen when there was no friction at all. So now let us open the worksheet part, children. In this worksheet part, if you will see page number 14 of your this workbook. Yes, now they are asking which of these happen due to friction in parts of your bicycle. You have to tick the correct answer. First one is due to friction, wear and tearing of bicycle tires will occur. Noise from the bicycle chains will start. Color change in the bicycle will occur due to friction, and rusting of bicycle is taking place. So what will happen due to the friction in the bicycles? Yes, of course, due to friction in the bicycles, we will find the wearing and tearing of bicycle tires. Now let us move to the next question, that is, observe these two pictures carefully. Look at the pictures and answer the questions. Picture 1, a matchstick is rubbed against the matchbox, and picture 2 is completely worn out shoes. Okay. Now first question, what is the effect of friction seen in picture 1 and picture 2? So in picture 1 we can see that matchstick is rubbed against matchbox so that fire is produced, whereas in picture 2 if you will see, the old shoes are completely worn out so that you cannot get a good grip over the road. So now the B question, if you will see, which picture shows the disadvantage of friction and why? So definitely picture 2 is showing the disadvantage, because the complete shoelace is worn out and you cannot use the chappal. You cannot use the shoes. Third question, when you will see, write one more disadvantage of friction. Now they're asking disadvantage. One more disadvantage of friction, that is your friction, it is even damaging the machineries, because continuously when the machinery are working, all the machinery parts are rubbed against each other, due to which your machineries will get damaged. Okay, so now write two things you will not able to do if there is no friction or a less friction. If there is a no friction or a less friction, first and foremost thing, that we cannot walk. And after that, if there is no friction or a less friction, you cannot hold any items, you cannot burn a matchstick, and of course we cannot even write with a pen or a pencil on a paper. Okay, these are the things that friction, if it is not there, we cannot do. Okay children, so now let us open the work practice questions from workbook. In these practice questions, at first question, if you will observe, the first question in this is, so in page number 21, if you will see the practice questions children, in the practice questions, the first question is, in which of these actions does friction play a big role? Tick the answers. The one is, we can sit on a chair, a car runs on a road, water evaporates, we can see things. So out of these four, where the friction plays a big role? Definitely a car runs on a road. Okay children, let's move to the next one. Explain with the help of any two examples how friction has both advantage and disadvantages. So first one is advantage. Friction have a lot many advantages in our day-to-day life. So with the help of a friction, you can walk, you can write. Whereas the disadvantages, if you will see, friction always damaging the vehicles or machinery. At the same time, it is even makes that shoelaces and tires to wear off their structure, so that they will get damaged very fastly. Now the third question, if you will see, as friction opposes movement, because friction and movement are always acting in an opposite direction, how can we say that it helps while walking? Give reasons to support your answer. So even though the friction is opposing the movement, it always, the grooves that are present on the surface of our shoelace is always helping to get a good grip while walking. So it always helps while walking. Okay children, after completing this particular worksheet, now have a look on this small video.
Friction is sometimes advantageous and sometimes disadvantageous in our daily life. It helps us to run or walk, or it helps us to hold things. Sometimes it is disadvantageous. It wears away the soles of our shoes, machine parts, and the tires of vehicles. We cannot imagine life without friction. If there was no friction, everything would slip and slide.
Okay children, after watching this video, now complete your worksheet and textbook part. Thank you so much.